If you're running an online store, you've probably thought, man, I need to spend a ton of money on a fancy camera to get good product shots. But what if I told you that the key to incredible sales-driving photos is actually already in your pocket? Yep. So let's dive in and learn how to take amazing shots using just your smartphone.
And it's so true, right? When you're shopping online, you can't touch the product, you can't feel the quality. So that entire decision to buy comes down to how good your photos look. High quality photography isn't just a nice little extra, it's everything. It's how you build trust and ultimately how you make that sale. So here's our game plan. First, we'll quickly cover why those first impressions are so critical. Then, the fun part. We'll build our own at-home studio kit on a serious budget. After that, we'll get into mastering natural light. Then I'll walk you through how to capture the perfect shot. And finally, we'll wrap up with some super simple editing tricks you can do right on your phone. I want you to think of your product photos as your digital storefront. I mean, they're doing all the heavy lifting, right? In just a single glance, they have to scream quality, show off the details, and prove the product's value. This is really where that customer's journey to clicking buy now begins. Okay, now for my favorite part. You absolutely do not need a professional studio. You just need a few clever items. We're going to put together a complete at-home setup that anybody can afford, and that, believe me, delivers totally professional results. Let's see exactly what's in the kit. The best part is just how simple all this is. Your smartphone? That's your camera. A mini tripod is like a $10 investment that makes a huge difference. No more shaky hands, just consistent angles. A pure white backdrop is key for bouncing light around. And for the budget hacks, a simple white bedsheet can be your light diffuser, and you're gonna love this. Barbecue skewers from the dollar store make for perfect little support brackets. All right, let's talk about the single most important element of any photo ever, and that's lighting. You know, getting it right can feel a little tricky, but it's what separates a kind of meh photo from a truly professional one. So let's break down how to get it right. These 3 steps are your foundation. It's super simple. First, get your table right up next to a big window. That's your one and only light source. Second, shoot when the day is at its absolute brightest to get as much of that good, natural light as possible. And third, and this is a mistake I see all the time, turn off all the other lights in the room. You don't want that yellowy indoor light messing with your colors. So it's not just about having light, it's about the quality of the light. See on the left? That's harsh, direct sunlight. We want to avoid that at all costs. It creates these ugly, hard shadows and just blows out all your colors. On the right, though, that's our goal. Soft, beautiful, diffuse light. And you can get that just by hanging a thin white sheet over the window. It softens that sunlight and gives you this perfect, even lighting. Now, even with a window, one side of your product is going to be bright and the other will have some shadows. So how do we fix that? With a bounce board. It sounds fancy, but it's literally just a white surface, like a piece of foam board. You just hold it up to reflect or bounce that natural light right back into the shadows. This one little trick brightens everything up and gives you that perfect, even look. Okay, our lighting is looking gorgeous. It is time to actually take the photo. The goal here is pretty simple. We want to use our camera angles and settings to basically tell a visual story that answers any and every question a customer might have. You really want to give your customers a full 360-degree feel for the product. An eye-level shot is perfect for your main hero image. But don't just stop there. Get a high angle, a low angle, a bird's eye view from directly above. Here's a pro tip. Keep your camera and tripod locked in one spot and just rotate the product itself. That way, all your shots stay perfectly and consistently framed. Think about it. What would a customer look at if they could hold the product in their hands? They'd inspect the fabric, right? Or the texture, or some cool little detail. Get close-ups of all those things that really prove its quality. If there's a special feature, this is your chance to show it off. Okay, before you start snapping away, let's run through a quick phone checklist. This is crucial. First, set your white balance. Just tap on your white background. Then set the exposure and focus by tapping right on your product. And here is the most important part. Lock those settings in. This stops your phone from trying to auto-adjust everything while you're shooting, which means every single photo will be consistent. And now, for 2 things you must never, ever do. First, do not use the digital zoom on your phone. It just tanks the image quality. If you need to get closer, physically move your phone closer. Second, and I can't say this enough, Never use the built-in flash. It creates a harsh, ugly, overexposed photo and just completely ruins the colors you worked so hard to get right. All right, we took our shots. We're in the home stretch. Now for the final step, editing. And don't worry, this isn't scary. You don't need a powerful computer or expensive software. We can do a quick, professional edit right on our phones to get that clean e-commerce look.
Seriously, look how easy this is. Grab an app like Photoshop Mix. Use the auto tool to cut your product out from the background, which is super easy since we shot on white. Then create a new layer and fill it with pure white. Finally, just drag that white layer behind your product layer and boom, a perfect clean image ready to go. And once you have that clean background, you can make a few last little tweaks right in the app. A tiny adjustment to the contrast or the exposure can really make your product pop right off the screen and grab a customer's eye. And there you have it. What this really shows is that there is absolutely nothing stopping you from creating incredible, professional-looking photos for your business. It's not about having expensive gear. It's just about being a little clever with the tools you already have. So now you have the entire playbook. The only question left is, what are you going to shoot first? Seriously, give these techniques a try. You're going to be amazed at how easy it is to totally elevate your online store.